What's up, gang? Jason Emmett here with the Movie Mix. Listen, there's so much going on at Marvel right now that this is going to be probably a slightly longer post for us, but it's going to be a really good one. We're going to discuss the rumors on what's happening with certain storylines and how Marvel can get their timeline under control if they do things right. Now, we're going to start off with Spider-Man because we have some Spider-Man news, and some of it is not awesome. Now, most of this comes from Cosmic Circus, but it does keep in line with other reports we've been hearing, and it follows what we recently speculated a few videos back. It looks like there might be a shift in the previously believed storyline, meaning we're not or might not get a street-level Spider-Man. Now, there were some hopes of a possible Spidey Daredevil team up against Kingpin kind of storyline, but what we might, in fact, be getting is another multiverse film, as it's rumored the movie might fall between the next two Avenger films, which, again, we had speculated would happen. It's also speculated that we're going to see the black Spidey suit leading us into Secret Wars, which, of course, makes sense, which we talked about in our previous video. We've also heard not to expect anybody like Doc Ock, or probably any of the major Spider-Man villains anytime soon, because Sony is holding tight on the reins, making things really difficult for the Web Slingers franchise. Come on, Sony. I mean, let's be honest. Your movies have not been great, except for the ones where you team up with the MCU, and maybe you need to work with them a little harder here because you're at risk of crashing and burning. That's all I'm saying. So some of the tidbits we've actually heard is that Ned and MJ will likely make a return as Peter heads off to college. If you recall in the last movie, everybody's minds were wiped and nobody remembered that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Now, I hear all this, and frankly, I'm okay whatever direction they take in this whole thing, but I still think we can have a Spider-Man street-level action film while still moving it towards Secret Wars. There's a story here. Peter suffering after the death of Aunt May and his friends forgetting who he is, dropping a new big bad guy while also taking the opportunity to have the symbiote find him at a time he's feeling really down and very low and vulnerable. Then you just pull a Fury approaching Iron Man at the end of the movie thing. You have Doom pull him into Secret Wars towards the end of the film. He doesn't have to be heading there the entire time. Earlier Marvel movies did this. They did it really well, and it worked. We loved them. Now, a little more bad news. It's really likely that we're not going to see Miles Morales show up just yet, and that is a bit of a bummer. I'm okay with Peter getting another movie first, as long as they eventually lead up to Miles. But that's not the worst Miles Morales news you're going to hear from me today. The worst you're going to hear from me is Beyond the Spider-Verse, which we are now being told, originally we were told it was going to come out this year, but we're now being told it's going to be 2 to 3 years before we see the end of the trilogy. As you recall, Across the Spider-Verse left us on a major cliffhanger, and everyone has been looking forward to the next chapter in the saga. And this, along with Sony's recent string of flops like Morbius and Madam Web, is starting to leave a bad taste in the mouth of fans. Yes, the second trailer for Kraven does look better than the first, and we know they did some massive reshoots after that disaster that was Madam Web, but even now we have no idea if this movie's going to be good or not, and I think it'll be better than the last couple, than Morbius and Madam Web, but does that mean it's going to be good? Who can say? Still, that's just Spider-Man news. We have more weird Marvel timeline stuff to talk about here. Let's talk Kang. We have heard now that the original story has been majorly shifted. The original story was to have Earth 616 Avengers, those are the ones we all know and love, travel to Earth 1,000,005 or something like that, which is where Monica Rambeau went at the end of Marvels. So when she showed up there, it created this massive incursion, and after following, the Avengers end up facing off against the X-Men for some reason. This seems like way too much too fast, and I kind of suspect this has been nixed for a more practical approach, but originally we were supposed to have Kang as part of this whole timeline fiasco, and now we're hearing that Kang is just gone. He's done. He's out. His presence is, as far as they're saying, it was stopped by Loki, and they don't intend to move any further with him, and instead they're going full Doom. Now, I still have my theory that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is just a variant, and we're going to end up seeing another Doom. But we have also heard from Alex Perez at Cosmic Circus that, at least up until now, Doom doesn't exist in the Fantastic Four First Step universe. That actually kind of helps play into my theory of who the Robert Downey Jr. version of Doom really is. But again, how could we possibly know for sure? Now, I think there's a ton of potential here for Marvel to quickly tie up a few loose ends and steer away from the direction they were heading that was making fans mad. I wasn't one of those fans, but I do admit I wasn't as excited for some of the material that has been coming out as of late as I once was. But I will also say that lately I've been getting more excited again for properties like Brave New World, Daredevil Born Again, Fantastic Four, and the Thunderbolts. All right, Marvel, so here's what you do. You suggest the King has been stopped for the time being and drop him into the background, far into the background. Give us small rumblings, maybe, and let him simmer like we did Thanos. He could become a better planned out thread in the future, somewhere way down the road, if you want to use Kang again. I mean, you guys have recast before. You can recast again. And if you ever decide to use him, bring him back that way. Don't just get rid of him. Just push him off into the background and let us hear things here and there. Now, since you're bringing Tiamat into Brave New World, you can't really suggest that the Eternals are from another universe. At least not easily. You couldn't do that easy now. But they didn't cross over with any major Marvel players, and we're dealing with the giant being in the ocean, so I think you're okay to just leave them alone for now. But we will need them tied up at some point. We need to know what's going on with the characters you introduced in the Eternals. What we really need is a Blade movie. We need a Blade movie. You need to explain the end of Eternals. You need to give us the Blade movie. I don't understand actually why this has been such a problem to make this movie, but we need one, and it needs to be good. You don't need to fully connect it to all the MCU movies, at least not, directly. But we need it and we want it, so give us the Blade movie. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that's going on at Marvel right now. We know they're trying to course correct, and it may take a little time, but just have faith. Everybody was complaining after the Eternals, what about this giant creature in the ocean? And a lot of us knew pretty early on that they were going to address that in the new Captain America movie, but you just have to be patient sometimes. They made some mistakes. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to give fans more of what they want, but we have to be patient. Anyway, guys, that's all I have right now. Thank all you guys for listening. Please hit share on this one. Please leave some comments what you think is going on, what you would like to see, anything you're bummed out about. Be polite, though, because we all don't like it when you're not. Hey, guys, really appreciate it. Let me know what your favorite Marvel movie has been, like, of all time. Then go back and watch that. And until next time, stay awesome.